Hey everybody, I'm Joshua Orro, the Mustang Prince, and welcome to Mustang Prince Orro Reports. You know, the Marvel Cinematic Universe has been really busy ever since Spider-Man's newest movie in summer 2019. I mean, we received several Disney Plus shows like WandaVision, Falcon and Winter Soldier, and just recently, Loki. We sadly lost Chadwick Boseman due to a 4-year battle with colon cancer, and just last month, The Happiest Place on Earth gave us a brand new area in Disney California Adventure called Avengers Campus, which I sadly haven't been to yet due to so many things piling up on my plate this summer, mainly stuff involving Target and Musical Theater Village. Anyway, today's episode is going to be a tribute to the badass Natasha Romanoff, aka Black Widow. Created by Stan Lee, Don Rico, and Don Heck, Natasha was taken into the KGB, where she was trained in the Red Room, a Soviet training program to create brainwashed assassins. She was exceptionally gifted in the arts of spycraft and soon became one of the most ruthless students there. With her reputation, she became the master assassin, the Black Widow. After years of acting as a Soviet assassin, she made herself a known threat to S.H.I.E.L.D., prompting Nick Fury to dispatch Clint Barton, aka Hawkeye, to kill her. However, Barton decided against killing her and recommended her for recruitment instead, which Fury approved. Thus, Natalia, as she was called back then, defected from Russia and became a prominent S.H.I.E.L.D. operative, developing a lasting partnership and friendship with Hawkeye. While being employed by S.H.I.E.L.D., she changed her name to Natasha Romanoff and became a level 7 S.H.I.E.L.D. operative. Now, in my opinion, Natasha is a tough-as-nails, no-nonsense, and badass superheroine and spy. And I think her appearances, not only in the Avengers movies, but also in films like Iron Man 2 and Captain America's second and third films, were pretty decent. Plus, I got to encounter her at Disneyland Resort back in May 2017, and I'm really sad that Nat made a heroic sacrifice on the planet Vormir during the events of Avengers Endgame. By the way, while most of her friends from the Avengers got their own leading movies and TV shows in this complex superhero franchise, it wouldn't be until finally, after being delayed 3 times, no thanks to COVID, when Natasha would get her own solo movie. But is this film worth seeing in theaters? Well, let's find out. Released on July 9th, 2021, the movie is Black Widow. Now, let's get started. Taking place in 2017, after the events of Captain America Civil War, while Natasha Romanoff, aka Black Widow, is on the run from the government due to her violating the Sokovia Accords, she confronts the darker parts of her legion when a dangerous conspiracy with ties to her past arises. Pursued by a force that will stop at nothing to bring her down, Natasha must deal with her history as a spy and the broken relationships left in her wake long before she became an Avenger. So, what are my thoughts on the movie? Well, in my opinion, this film was absolutely surprising, interesting, and action-packed. And yes, I absolutely had a lot of fun seeing this movie in theaters. But to further explain why I enjoy the movie, let's move on to Mustang notes. Development of a Black Widow movie began in April 2004 by Lionsgate, with David Hayter attached to write and direct. The project did not move forward, and the character's film rights reverted to Marvel Studios in June 2006. Work on the movie began in late 2017, with Kate Shortland hired in 2018. Jack Schaefer and Ned Benson contributed to the script before Eric Pearson was hired. Filming took place from May to October 2019 in Norway, Budapest, Morocco, Pinewood Studios in England, and in Atlanta and Macon, Georgia. Also to note, this was the last Marvel Cinematic Universe movie that Stan Lee produced before his death. And it was also the first time when Lorne Balfe composes the musical score for a feature-length Disney movie. Also, this is the second MCU movie to have a female lead protagonist following Captain Marvel. Plus, this is the first movie in the MCU's fourth phase. Now, I need to mention that I got to see this movie in IMAX with several of my closest friends on the evening of July 8th before it was officially released. And to me, I think this movie has a very good plot, even though it feels pretty similar to a couple other MCU films like The Incredible Hulk, two of the Iron Man movies, Captain America the Winter Soldier, and Captain Marvel. Speaking of which, like Captain Marvel, I like that this movie features the time period of 1995, which was the time when me and my sister were still very little. Plus, I like that this movie mainly takes place between the events of Captain America Civil War and Avengers Infinity War. Also, aside from the numerous European locations, I like the many different fight scenes, which, may I remind you, are the best parts of any superhero or spy movie. Also, I think Red Room, which is, spoiler alert, located in the sky, is a highly classified and top secret location in this franchise. It's a Soviet training facility created by KGB, or the Committee for State Security, to produce highly specialized female spies known as Black Widows. However, the Red Room wasn't only a training facility, but in certain stories, like Agent Carter on ABC, it employs biochemical enhancements for its agents and also implants them with false memories reminiscent of those used by Weapon Plus program. Also, while this is a great movie, my only nitpick are the scenes featuring syringes. Okay, yes, while me and mostly everybody all over the world have been braving these bad boys in order to get protected from COVID, seeing them in books and movies still give me the creeps, especially when several characters get sedated and tranquilized a couple times in this film. And now let's move on to the cast. Our main heroine, Natasha Romanoff, aka Black Widow, is once again played by Scarlett Johansson, best known from films like 2014's Lucy, along with 2017's Ghost in the Shell, 2004's SpongeBob SquarePants movie, 2018's I Love Dogs, 2016's The Jungle Book, and Illumination's Sing, which will be getting a sequel this December. Also to note, I hear Scarlett is going to become a mother soon. Anyway, like I said earlier, I think Natasha is a strong, tough, independent, and a no-nonsense heroine. Also, during this movie, Natasha does show several signs of her brilliance and cleverness. Plus, I think Nat's style of martial arts is absolutely amazing, and I thought her backstory, which took place back in 1995, was absolutely very intense. Also, I think Nat's white suit kind of makes me think of Kim Possible's white suit from So the Drama. Next up is Yelena Belova, aka Crimson Widow, played by Florence Pugh, whom I only remember from 2019's Little Women. To me, Yelena steals the entire movie for me. Plus, I think she's very unapologetic and very confident in herself, as well as curious and emotionally brave. Plus, Yelena knows exactly how to function in the areas in which she's been trained, but she has no clue how to live as a human being. Also, I absolutely love Yelena and Natasha's sisterly relationship, and I think her whistle is a cute greeting call. Also, I like that Yelena's favorite song is American Pie by Don McLean. Also to note, the red dust that Yelena comes across, which is said to be an antidote to Red Room's mind control, kind of makes me think of a similar substance that came from Iron Man 3. Next is Alexei Shostakov, aka Red Guardian, played by David Harbour, who's best known from Brokeback Mountain, War of the Worlds, Green Hornet, 2019's Hellboy, and 2016's Suicide Squad. Now this guy is the Russian super soldier counterpart to Captain America, and in my opinion, he's one of my favorite characters in the movie next to Yelena. Plus, he has some of the funniest lines ever. However, as a father figure to Natasha and Yelena, he's okay. Also, the scene where Alexei was putting on his costume kind of made me think of The Incredibles teaser trailer. Next we come to Melina Vostokov, played by Rachel Weisz, whom was Saphira in Aragon, Evanora in Oz the Great and Powerful, and she was in the first 2 Mummy movies. Now, Melina is a highly trained spy and scientist who has been cycled through the Red Room's Widow program 4 times. After decades of service, Melina has been able to distance herself from the Red Room, but when Natasha shows up at her pig farm in the movie, Melina must decide where her allegiance lies. Another character to talk about is Antonia Dreykov, aka Taskmaster, played by Olga Kurilenko. To me, this character is an absolute badass due to her photographic reflexes that allow her to mimic her opponent's fighting style. Plus, she uses techniques from other superheroes such as Iron Man, Captain America, the Winter Soldier, and Spider-Man. However, while she is a villain in the comics, in the movie, she's more of a corrupted or manipulated villain, which doesn't really count as a real villain in my opinion. Finally, we come to Antonia's father and our main villain, General Dreykov, played by Ray Winstone, whom was in the first Narnia movie, Robert Zemeckis' Beowulf, Rango, and the terrible 2014 Noah movie. This character was a high-ranking officer in the Soviet Armed Forces who acts as the Red Room's overseer. Sometime prior, Natasha was tasked to kill Dreykov in order for her to join S.H.I.E.L.D. But after finding out that Red Room is still active and Dreykov is still alive, Natasha is willing to put an end to his facility once and for all. In my eyes, Dreykov is a master tactician, and he's also really devious while brainwashing young women into deadly assassins. And now let's move on to my final words. Overall, Black Widow is such an amazing superhero/spy movie to come from the MCU. It has a cool cast of characters, an interesting time setting, a thrilling story, and amazing action sequences. Plus, I liked the several European locations, and the music by Lorne Balfe was absolutely excellent. So, if you folks want to see an amazing Marvel movie this summer, go see this movie in theaters. But I wouldn't recommend it for folks under the age of 13, though. I give this movie a full 100%. Yeah, the use of syringes were my only nitpick. So what? Well, that's all for now. Be sure to join me for my next blog, where I give you guys a backstage pass to the Star Swirled Music Festival. Mustang Power!